Hey guys, today we're going to do 6, 7, inverse relations and functions. You will be able to find the inverse of a relation or a function. So first, if a relation pairs element A of its domain to element B of its range, then the inverse relation pairs B with A. So if the pair AB is an ordered pair of a relation, then BA is an ordered pair of its inverse. If both a relation and its inverse happen to be functions, then they are inverse functions. But we also have to understand that the inverse of a function can and cannot be a function. So, problem 1, finding the inverse of a relation. If we have relation S, we need to find the inverse of relation S. So the inverse is going to be when we switch x and y, the x and y values. So in our inverse, instead of 0, -1, we are now going to have -1, 0, 0, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. Finding an equation for the inverse. So, what is the inverse of the relation described by y is equal to x squared minus 1? We have to think about what we just did before when we had our table of values. We switched x and y. So here we have y is equal to x squared minus 1. We are going to switch x and y. Then solve for y. So we have x is equal to y squared minus 1. Now solve for y by adding 1. X plus 1 is equal to y squared. Square root both sides. And y is equal to the square root of x plus 1. Consider the function f of x is equal to x minus 2. What are the domain and range of f? So the domain is what x values can we plug into the square root of x minus 2. We want to take x minus 2 and have it greater than or equal to 0. So x is greater than or equal to 2. And what numbers can we get from a square root? We can get positive, we can get negative, and we can get 0. So our y values, or our range, is all real numbers. What is the inverse of f? How do we find the inverse of f? We take our function, f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 2. Switch x and y, so f of x is the same thing as y, so we're going to switch them. X is equal to the square root of y minus 2. Square both sides, get rid of the square root. X squared is equal to y minus 2. Add 2. Y is equal to x squared plus 2. Instead of y, we're going to write the inverse of f. So the inverse of f of x is f, and it looks like a -1 power of x is equal to . Now, what are the domain and range of the inverse of f of x? We can put in all real numbers. So our domain, we don't have any restrictions. So our domain is all real numbers. And what do we know about x squared plus 2? That is a parabola opening upward, and it has been moved up 2. So we have our range is from 2 to positive infinity. Is the inverse of f a function? Yes. it is a quadratic function. Because for every input, we have exactly one output. And that's it.